Fourth time lucky, hopefully. I've been trying to do this video, but I keep getting quite distressed while doing it, even though I'm happy-go-lucky and try to take things. I do cheer myself up with my inner strength, but I just need to get these words out to government and to refuge runners and to councils. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm videoing from my bed is because I have sciatica and I have a bad back and things like that. And obviously, no one's fault, but that's why. And I try to do things, and then I overdo it. So I try to have a positive mindset. So I'm not an angry person, but I want to make a difference in society. And if we're quiet, how can we make a difference? How can you know there is a problem? Okay, Boris Johnson, Henry Smith, um refuge runners, how can you know that there's a problem unless people tell you? Yeah. So what I want to highlight is I'm at a women's refuge, and I come from a hostel, and before that I was in private rental, and my landlord wanted to move back into the private rental, and because I was on benefits because of my back and because of my anxiety disorder from domestic abuse, um I I couldn't find another place to live, because it's all unaffordable. There's only a small percentage of houses that are affordable for people on benefits, and then people that are landlords, they don't want to rent out to people on benefits, no matter how good your references are, how well you're and that you've been taking care of a previous property, and no matter any of that. So I couldn't find another place to live, and I ended up homeless, and I ended up being put in hostel, which was a great relief that I wasn't on the street. It was a great relief. I mean, there are other people on the streets. I don't know why they're on the streets or how they're on the streets, but I think the criteria of being on a hostel is quite strict, perhaps, and the people didn't want to live that criteria, maybe. But I did find it was great to be in a hostel. I had a room, and it was in kind of like a mini mansion, and we had shared facilities. And what I want to do is praise the councils for providing the hostels. Thank you. Thank you for providing these hostels, and it was a great support. And the housing benefit covered everything. So I didn't have to worry. Didn't have to be anxious about heating bills or water bills. I didn't have to be anxious about Wi-Fi, paying for that. And so it was kind of a bit of a respite at a hostel, and this hostel was for families and for people, that were homeless and needed to find somewhere to live. It's a temporary setup, and there was cleaners that came and cleaned the kitchen areas and the communal areas, and we cleaned our own rooms, obviously, and there was a garden, and there was a garden, and I came and tended to that, and we had facilities that we could use, and they were free, and what else was there? um you had to obviously bring your own cooking things, which you've come from a house and you've gone to hostel, so you've got things like that. Anyway, what I want to do is my confusion. Please help me to understand that when things get worse, help should increase and help shouldn't decrease, So help me to understand. I'm at a women's refuge, so that means that I have increased needs. Yeah, I'm at a women's refuge. I've come from a situation life threatening, and I there was a meeting called a Marak meeting, and I didn't know what one of these was, but excuse me, I've got each year. So a Marak meeting, and obviously police had been involved, social services had been involved, women's services had been involved, and I was told, you need to go to a refuge, and they'll take care of you. And so I assumed, going knowing what a hostel was like, and also at the hostel I had personal help, and I had women come into my room by appointment to give me like comfort, to listen to my problems and to be like counselors to me and give me, help with my needs. So anyway, a women's refuge to me sounded like a place that would understand my needs, that would understand my distress, understand that I've come from trauma, and provide and support and, put me on my feet. What I would like to know, and maybe you don't know this, Boris Johnson, and maybe you don't know this, Henry Smith, but maybe you're unaware, but the councils give more support to the hostels because now that I've arrived at this refuge and I've been here like 3 months, I'm being presented with bills all the time that I can't afford. I've come to a refuge to save my life and I don't have this spare money. I don't watch TV. I don't need to be paying a TV license because I don't watch TV. And also, where I don't receive Wi-Fi in the room that I'm at, but I'm being charged for Wi-Fi, and I'm also being charged for heating, and I'm being charged. Everything is in I'm being charged for services, and it's distressing me because now I'm going to have to go back to where I've come from to the trouble because I can't afford to live at the refuge that is meant to be keeping me safe. So please, Boris Johnson, Henry Smith, and all you wonderful MPs and you wonderful people that run the country and try to take care of everyone, I know you're doing your best. I know there's a lot of problems to sort out. But when I've come to a refuge, I thought that there'd be people trained to understand distress and have communication skills. So please, and not for men to be here. I mean, there's been this. There were 4 men working here and a man manager. I've come from distress from men. I'm traumatized with men, and I know that there are some great men. But when I first come here, I don't want to be having to be faced with men. I want to be able to have a mindset where it's on my terms. And so please, make allowances that women, when they first come away from trouble, that they just want to be in the company of women that understand the needs. I don't want to talk about my menstrual cycle to a man. I don't want to have to talk. I don't want to be crying my eyes out to a man. I'm no disrespect, but women understand women, and I just wanted to be myself with women. I want to look my best for men. I don't want to be seen a mess. I don't want to be blubbering to a man. Okay, I don't want to be. I want to be talking and confiding to a woman. Okay, and I've been told, well, it's workers' rights or whatever, discriminatory to say that to fill a position with a woman instead of a man. Excuse me, but I'm in need, and I stayed in my room for like a month. I didn't go out of my room because I didn't want to see the men. Okay, so and I couldn't heal. Okay, I couldn't heal. And also the people employed here, they don't seem to have that criteria. Well, they've told me they're not trained. They're not trained, but surely um, just compassion doesn't really need to be taught. Surely you should have people employed at a refuge that understand compassion, understand women are going to be messed up. The first text I got here basically was to put my bins out and to pay this service charge. And there was no. When I have anxiety disorder, I want someone to come into my room and chat to me in my room, and yet they don't do that here. There is no, and so I don't get help because they won't only give me help if I go to the office, and I've already I have triggers, and at the hostel I'd have people come to my room to support me. And I've got a nice size room, and it's a lovely building, but it's an old building, and I've had to use the heating because the windows didn't close, and I've had to pay for broadband on my phone because the Wi-Fi didn't reach me. But I'm still being there's been like an insistence that I pay, and it's distressing me. It's distressing me. How can I heal when I'm being distressed? Why did I get more support at a hostel? Anyway, I don't want this to go on and on and on. I want to help women. The reason why I'm embarrassing myself like this is because it's important. There needs to be help. This refuge is for women and children, and we need to be taken care of just as much as people that are homeless and in a hostel. Okay? Please look into these things. Why is it that we're not provided the same care? Why is it that when we're at a hostel, everything's covered? Why is it a refuge we have to pay? Okay, and why is it that we can't decide if we want? Why can't we? Why can't we opt in instead of opting out? There's no. I have to pay these bills, even though I'm not even using the services. And I can't afford it. And I want a job. Please make me well. I'm traumatized and so sad. I mean, and I'm gonna get through. I'm gonna get through. But please help me, please. Help women, help them to get on their feet. You don't realise between life and death the situation that people can become suicidal. You know, don't make it seem like you don't care, okay? By putting us into situations that make us stressed. We need help and support, okay? So please make it so that it's even between hostels and refuges. Please employ people at refuges that are trained to understand the needs of women that have come from domestic violence and abuse, okay? And please don't employ men. Do it staggered. If a woman's just run away from trouble, you know maybe have stages of where she's in the first place of a lot of support where it's all women, and then as she's recovering, maybe transfer her to another place that when she's got over some trauma, and then maybe have men there. But don't a man manager and men workers knocking on my door. It's too much. Okay, it's too much. Please respect us. Anyway, I will get back to doing my cheerful videos, and you can see I've got my cheerful. Anyway, so please just help us, okay? Bye for now.